12-tone music theory, 12-tone technique. Do composers like Arnold Schoenberg, Alban Berg, and Anton Webern ring a bell? If so, this video is definitely for you. Here we'll be learning about the infamous 12-tone theory technique that these composers developed in the early 20th century. Although this music theory is relatively new, it is quite possible to delineate how this musical model works in modern settings. Let's see how. In 12-tone theory, phrases are set in tone rows, that is, each set of 12 notes, in whatever rhythm chosen, must include all 12 tones of a scale in a non-repetitive order. These tone rows can then be formatted to become retrograde, inverted, or retrograde-inverted. Let's look at this in a little more detail. Prime tone row. A prime tone row is the original tone row of the original 12-note phrase. Just like how subjects are the basis for several other phrases in fugue, the prime tone row can also be treated as such, even if its circumstance is quite different. Retrograde tone row. A retrograde tone row is basically prime tone row in reverse order. For example, the last note of the prime must be the first note of the retrograde, and the first note of the prime must be the last note of the retrograde. Inversion tone row. An inversion tone row occurs when the first note of the phrase begins on the original note but the direction of the intervals become inverted. For example, if the first interval moved a major third up in the prime, in the inversion it would move a major third down, and so forth. Retrograde inversion tone row. A retrograde inversion is basically a combination of a retrograde and inversion. An easier way to write this is to first write the inversion of the tone row and then write it backwards. In review, 12-tone theory uses 12-tone technique in order to write retrogrades, inversions, and retrograde inversions from an original prime tone row. This style of music composition is somewhat avant-garde, but it does not mean to say that it is not possible to hear it in popular songs. Try to listen carefully and you might just one day hear a retrograde tone row in a song, even if it's not exactly 12 pitches. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.